Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. So we've got a brand new 2024 Cimarron Showstar LX sitting behind me. This is a 10-pin trailer, really cool setup. We're gonna walk you through a lot of the options that we go ahead and put on these trailers instead of just standard. We always go in and kind of put our touch on them as well. I like to say a Cimarron is like a fingerprint. Every one of them's different. So just because you see one at another dealership or another one out at a show, typically they are not alike. Every person and every dealer wants to put their own little flair on how we option these trailers. So it is a 24 model. We've been getting those in here for about a month and a half. Those started rolling off the line after May 1st. So we are onto the 24 models. So it's pretty cool because you're going to get some cool features. Let's take a look at the drawing on this before we start walking through the trailer and I start showing you all that. With an LX, you're going to get a standard 8-foot wide. That is a LX Showstar option that is standard. You're 6'4" tall with this being the LX with the drop windows. We're 26 foot on the floor. We actually put a little bit more in the front tack room, so it's a 6-foot front tack that we're looking at here, and then a 10-pin adjustable actual system inside of it. Now, let's start walking through this. First and foremost, all aluminum construction on a Cimarron. 8-year structure warranty, 3 years from bumper to hitch. Speaking of hitches, this is a B&W coupler that B&W has designed for Cimarron. Cimarron actually went there and visited with them, and they actually designed a coupler. If you've been used to the last couple years, this handle's actually been a touch taller. Not as big of a deal when we're looking at these type of trailers. But when our real large trailers, like our living quarters, big trainer trailers, big, show cattle trailers that maybe you're hauling it with a hauler or a semi, they've gone in and redesigned this based on the request that we had. One hole lower drilled into it and then a lower profile handle. So we can actually take this coupler and shove it into this sleeve a little bit farther, making sure this thing's running good and level. And if you want to talk about just walk by a trailer at some point and look at the way that they secure their actual gooseneck couplers. I mean, look, we're talking 2 big locking bolts here. We've got a pin that goes through. So we're talking 3 points to secure that. Some manufacturers will have this and one little one. So they do take it a step further by that. But American-made product that they're throwing on the front there with that B&W. I'm sure you're familiar with the B&W actual balls themselves. So it's made at that same factory. So with an LX, you're going to get the standard electric over hydraulic jack, which is fantastic. Believe me, you want to leave a lot of equipment in this trailer. Maybe you have some equipment in the barn at home, but you're going to a lot of jackpots showing off this trailer. You want to leave a lot of that on there. There's a lot of weight. So who wants to hand crank? You push a button and up and down this thing goes. It's extremely responsive. The other thing I like about this system is there is a manual override. I can pump this on or off the truck in emergency type situations there. So with that, you're also going to get the aluminum battery box that you can lock. We've got one battery in here and a battery disconnect. That disconnect has become standard. It's a great feature to just reach up, turn that knob to the off position. It kills all power to this trailer. Even if we leave a load light, stall lights, front tack room lights, we're not draining the battery on this actual system. If you want to add an additional battery, that can be done in there as well. So what we also have here, if you're going to notice, you've got these feet coming off of here. But what we can do is we can set a portable generator on here, strap it down, and then there's a plug. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to get out of the way. It's between this battery box and the side of the trailer, but it's got a 30 amp plug in there. So we can actually fire up that onboard generator right here, run that cord up and plug it in right there. Or if you have an additional power source, you can run it, to a barn or a wall or a pole, anything like that, but you can plug right in there. We'll show you that power package here in a few minutes. But again, really cool setup underneath here. That jack is well worth the money. Believe me, and it's a lot simpler, a lot cheaper to go and put that on this trailer right from the get-go rather than later on. We'll see this a little bit more as we walk around, but this bottom rail, top rail, and all the side extrusions are polished on this trailer. This is a white sheeted. White is standard. If you want to jump up to like black, charcoal metallic, silver metallic, champagne. You know, there is additional charges. You can do the fully polished if you want. You have to line and insulate the front tack room. Keep that in mind so we don't have any dings. It'll be really glaring from the outside if you do. So that's why we line the inside of those. But custom colors can be done as well. We had a Pepsi blue here trailer not that long ago. I know we got a red one coming for a customer, so custom colors can be done as well on this. But white is standard. So we went with a 6-foot front tack room on this one. We like throwing a little bit extra length in the tack rooms. That's just become very, very common over the last couple of years, especially with everybody showing jackpotting off these trailers. You want a little bit more room, a little bit more space to either store things and maneuver around. So we went ahead and put a little bit of length in there as well. You'll notice a step coming in. That's awesome for when we're carrying buckets, feed, any type of supplies in here. Younger kids just stepping in and out of this trailer, by having the ability to transition a lot easier. I mean, look at where the door frame sits and where the ground is versus that step. It does cut it in half, so it does make a world of difference when you're trying to get in and out of these trailers. Now, if you noticed, we kind of had that door pushed back a little bit compared to the tack room, but what we wanted a shelf in here with a clothes rod, so kids can hang their show clothes in here, change of clothes, whatever they need. They can store some items up here. It's got a lip, so things won't shift off of it when we're traveling. But this is a really nice little feature to have. We put a little radius on the front nose there, just so when you're coming in and out, you're not getting a 90-degree angle there. That's one thing I give Cimarron a lot of credit for when you're going through their trailers, especially in the stall area. Everything has a radius. No sharp edges, no 90-degree angles, nothing protruding out. We want to keep the animals safe, and hey, let's take care of ourselves as well. Up in the nose, nothing too crazy up there. You're going to notice this kind of a diamond plate almost look to it. It's got a lot of grip to it and tread to it, but it's a gray rubber floor. And this is actually something that we started doing on the livestock side, you know, on these Showstars, our Steerwalt models. But it's nice because they cut it and then they seal around the edge. So it's not like that carpet that'll, you know, kind of hold a smell, you know, can stain over time. You know, this here is really easy. It's actually a show cattle customer that kind of pushed us in that direction. We built one for them and we started doing a lot of it because his wife said, I'm the one that crawls up there and cleans up the nose, and I don't want to be trying to get, you know, feed or shavings out of that carpet. I want to just be able to sweep everything and vacuum it up. So really easy as far as cleanup goes. It comes off the deck down the drop wall, and then we actually extended it to the floor. And again, we're actually incorporating this quite a bit on our horse trailers as well. So it's becoming very, very popular and people really like it. So we have a 4-inch tube that goes across the gooseneck, just from holding items, from coming off the actual gooseneck itself. It just removes, it's pinned on each side. So if you wanted to get rid of it, you could just set it in the barn, but it is nice to be able to hold those items there. Over here to the left, we're gonna have a 30-amp breaker. So again, I showed you the plug on the bottom side in between the side of the trailer and then that aluminum battery box. So there's our breaker, and we put a converter on there as well. So when you're plugged into power, it will power up those 12-volt batteries that we have down there as well, keeping them nice and charged up for you. A lot of LED lights. We put an LED light up in the nose, one over here on this driver's side wall, and then one above the tack door when you come in here. So a lot of lights. We went in and framed for an air conditioner. So if you wanted to put an air conditioner in here, we already have power. That framework's already done. You could also put a camper style vent if you want, like a manual or even like an electric. So there are some options there, but by having that already done, it makes a world of difference on cost. Then on this partition wall, we put, Cimarron's created these big utility hooks. So these aren't even like their bridle hooks that they put in their horse trailers. These are specifically for these type of trailers. 4 hooks per kind of set. Look at the depth off the wall and how tall they are. These are aluminum powder coated, so they're really strong and stout. But the gaps between these and the depth of this. So in our world, we've always been using bridle hooks on these show trailers. Well, big hoses, big cords, you're usually taking up about 3 or 4 hooks trying to get them. Stuff's falling off. It hasn't been, you know, it hasn't worked. And Cimarron created these, and these work extremely well in the show, you know, livestock side of the world by putting big hoses, big cords, those type of items on there and securing them. Carpet behind the whole wall, so anything that scuffs against it's going to protect it. And then if you notice, we have these 2 airliner tracks. So those are cargo strips, so we can actually get different hooks. Cimarron's made an actual bracket that goes into this that'll hold some of your feed buckets, your additive buckets can set in there. But hooks, if you wanted to snap, you know, your carabiners on your feeders actually to it, you can do that. So a lot of versatility with those airliner tracks, and we're utilizing them quite a bit in different aspects on these trailers. And then the last part is you're going to have a pass-through door that's actually going to go into the stall area. So if you are, you know, again, showing off this, you want to go between the stall area and the front tack room, you can. If you're getting feed ready, you can go between the two and don't have to step outside of the trailer itself. Heavy duty tack door. So from the edge to this window, that's all framework. So that guy is really stout. Welded hinges with grease zerks as well, so you can maintain those hinges. And then there's a drip rail above, like that door, this side ramp right there, trying to get moisture away from these doors. You know, in Colorado, we'll have 300 days of sunshine. We'll have snow, sunshine, it'll melt, start coming off, and then we'll get to freezing temperatures again, you know, overnight. And what we don't want is we don't want that moisture getting in that door frame, because then it'll freeze, and then we have that weather stripping in there, and it's hard to open and close those doors. You don't want to rip that weather stripping. So Cimarron's actually gone in, that's an extruded piece specifically for the top of door openings. So it's not just a, hey, let's add it on after the fact type of a deal. That goes for those door openings that we're looking at. 16-inch awning light, kind of splitting the front tack room and the ramp, so you have light coverage. It shoots down and out. It's not like those old pedestal lights that would protrude up. You know, you go underneath a tree or something like that, you can knock those off. So they're a little bit more flush to the side of the trailer. And then you have your button lights, LED button lights, put off a good amount of light, look sharp at night as well on these type of trailers. Not a big power draw, but again, putting out quite a bit of light. And then there's that side ramp I was just telling you about. Side ramp going into the stall area. You've got a gate over the stall area itself. So if you're showing off this, or you get to a show and you drop this, you don't have to worry about something running off the side ramp. It's going to keep them nice and secure in there. More importantly, if you're showing off this, as you can see, I've got the escape door open on the other side. You can create airflow throughout this trailer, so it keeps that stall area a lot cooler from that aspect. And really easy, these guys here, you know, as it gets into the trailer, it actually sucks towards it with the big hinges that Cimarron uses. So again, your younger kids can still operate these. And then this is a piece here on this bottom rail. Over the years, this would just be a flat kind of piece, so it kind of broke up that bottom rail, just that extruded look. And then this now, they've got it to where they've built it for these side ramps, so it ties into the rest of the bottom rail. So just aesthetically, it's really pleasing. It just matches. It doesn't look out of place like that old style used to be. So on the LX, you have your drop windows. So you have drop windows. These are a prefab drop window. You can upgrade to the big heavy duty frame drop windows that we use on our horse trailers. There is added cost to those, but on this LX, this is going to be standard here. And then we like to go in and put this aluminum fold down slat. It used to be a plexiglass piece that would come out, and it'd be a lot smaller air gap, so we weren't getting as much airflow down low. This trailer is built specifically for hogs, lambs, goats. You know, those smaller animals are lower to the floor. We need to get that airflow down there to them. So this is a lot larger air gap that we're looking at. And also, it's really simple to use. It's not like that plexiglass where, you know, you have to get out and take it all out and store it, and where does it go, and you hope it doesn't get broke. Well, this type of a scenario, you could leave early in the morning. It could be nice and cool, have it all shut up, and really quickly just make a stop you know, if you're fueling up, shoot, you can just kind of pull off really quick and just open everything up really quick by having that on that gas shock. Two 7,000-pound Dexter rubber torsion axles, aluminum 16-inch wheels, Goodyear 10-ply tires on here. Those are nitrogen filled. That's your green tab there. So nitrogen filled tires, the PSI levels won't fluctuate like air will, you know, really drastically. So again, cool mornings. I mean, we were low 60s and we're supposed to be over 90s today. We'll get to that point of the year where we're still getting into the, you know, 50s, low 60s, and we'll jump up to 100 during the day. So major temperature differences, but nitrogen filled tires, it only allows that PSI level to fluctuate just a little bit, a couple pounds. You can put air to them if you have a slow leak or a low tire. It's not a problem, but you're just not getting those benefits. So you can always go find somewhere and have that nitrogen filled. Speaking of these tires, you have a 1-year, no questions asked warranty on these tires. The vendor that Cimarron uses, if you catch a nail that can't be patched, if you have a blowout, you catch road debris, no questions asked, the first year, they will send you a new tire. You just get some pictures of the damage, the codes on it, you send that in, and they'll send you a tire, or they'll reimburse you if you're on the road needing to get something done there. Bolt-on fenders. So we don't probably talk about that near enough. But this time of the year, we're starting to see some used trailers come in, or customer trailers come in, fenders are just completely ripped up. I mean, again, it's summertime, people are traveling, and they have a tire blow, and it just rips everything up. So the amount of time it takes to cut out a welded fender and then replace it with another weld-on is going to cost you more money. Bolt-ons are a lot simpler and a lot quicker, saving you a lot of time. So that's standard on these Cimarrons as well. Notice this door as we walk around it. This is a wraparound style hinges. So those doors can get onto the side of the trailer and secure. We started doing that a few years ago just by going to some shows and observation of just seeing them stack trailers into different areas and watching the doors that come off on a 90. People are constantly opening and closing them, having people go by. These wrap around to the side of the trailer. You don't have to worry about that. It's just nice having them out of the way when you are showing off of this actual trailer itself. So 50-50 independent doors with wraparound, and then we did 50-50 rear ramps. So there's multiple configurations that you can do. You can do a full width, and this one here you can do the 50-50. These are really nice too for, like, again, your younger juniors that are showing. It's not that full width. It's a little bit simpler. If you only wanted to drop one side or the other, you can do that by having the independent doors and then the independent 50-50 rear ramps. But you've got, you know, multiple access points for animals coming on and off this if you're showing off of it, loading, unloading, by having the ramps with the side ramp and then right here at the back. Now let's talk about this pin system. So we're going into a 10-pin system. These are adjustable. So we can go from a 50-50 to a 60-40 setup really easy. Everything flows extremely nice in and out of this. So for example, if I wanted to, we're completely set up for 50-50, but if I wanted to break it loose, this is how easy it is. I unpin it, I pull out, I swing it over, push it back in and latch it. Very simple, just process to change it. Now we have a 60-40. If you want an alleyway, you can shift everything over, be able to walk hogs, lambs, goats in and out of here really easy as well. The nice thing is too, if you notice on the right hand side, everything there is going to be actually hinged off that right hand wall. That is just over the years, just realizing that it makes more sense from a flow standpoint of going on and off this trailer by having these gates actually come off the walls rather than the middle where the rest of them will. So the rest of this here is all one piece with this post. So I can break these loose and I can take sections of these out and just set them in the barn, whatever I want to there. So for example, if I ever want to, you know, go ahead and haul a steer or heifer in here as well, or I want to get a bigger just pin in general, I can take these sections out. So They're really easy. They just set into the floor. They've got these pins on the back side that I can unlatch and take out. Now, one thing I would recommend is, you know, making taking a Sharpie or something and making a note of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 somewhere on the post, so when you go to put them back in, it's really easy. You know exactly where they go. You don't have to go like, wait a second, where did that one go? And you get them mixed up and having to continually move them. But again, you can take sections out. You can take everything out if you want and have one big stall area. You know, one person can do it in about, you know, 10, 15 minutes, and same putting it in. If you have somebody to help, you know, you can probably cut that in half just from the sheer standpoint of the awkwardness of carrying them in and out of the trailer. But you've got that flexibility to do that. The other thing is we did 2 feeder rods, one of them standard. We like to go ahead and do 2, and 2 on each side of it. That way it's easy from a standpoint if you've got those carabiners, those snaps for your feeders, one low, one high. So as your projects start getting a little bit bigger throughout the summertime, you can elevate those if you want. The younger projects, you can have them a little bit lower. Now, if you notice, this is just an aluminum floor. So there's a couple different options. We don't like doing rubber mats in this because, one, we know hogs will get underneath them and try to root them up, but also working around all these posts is really difficult, especially when you go to put those mats back in. It's like a puzzle, and to get them to fit right, it's pretty tough. So either bed deep in here really well, and then you're gonna have to clean it out, you know, power wash it out, let it dry. But the other option is going with worm flooring. We can add worm to this trailer after the fact, or if we're building a custom trailer, you know, we say, hey, we can do that as well for you, but then the worm goes around all these and you don't have to worry about it. You know, it's permanent, it's unpenetrable, it can't get pulled up, so that's definitely an option there. But we can do that on these trailers, you know, after the fact as well. Up here in the stall area, a little bit farther up, again, frame for another AC there. So if you want one in the stall area, you can put that piece of it's already done. Again, we've got your 30 amp breaker package already on this trailer, so that part of it's already on it. By cutting it out, it's a lot simpler process, and you, again, 30 amp package will power one air conditioner, so you could do like a camper style vent if you want, or an air conditioner, or vice versa. It's completely up to you. But you have these 2-way roof vents as well. So these 2-way roof vents will really manipulate airflow. You know, in the cooler months, winter time, you can actually open them back to release that warm air as it starts elevating. You know, it starts rising in this trailer. It'll get it away from the animals there. But then you have this insulated roof. So this is standard on every single Cimarron. So it's got a gel protectant on the outside, but it's a 1/2 inch thick. It's a reinforced honeycomb design. So it's really, really strong. I'm talking, I can walk on this roof and I don't have to find these roof bows. I can just walk on it. It'll take 150 pounds per square foot, take substantial hail without doing any damage. It can be damaged, but it's got to be pretty significant to do anything there. But more importantly, it keeps the stall area about 20% cooler versus aluminum sheeted roofs. So aluminum sheeted roof companies, there's an upcharge to line and insulate. You've got the potential of it still being able to, you know, have significant damage from hail or something like that. But this is standard on every single Cimarron, and it makes a world of difference in this stall area for our animals. It'll keep it that much cooler. But if you drop these windows, again, you can create that cross breeze throughout here. It keeps everybody nice and cool and comfortable. But then there's also another piece to it. We did this rail. So this rail is actually from the Steerwalt model, so the cattle trailers with the traveling gate. And then we've got some brackets here that you can go get like a 12-inch barn fan. A 12-inch works really well just because of the height. I mean, this is a lower profile trailer. A big 24-inch fan is going to hang really low. But a 12-inch fan, we can actually move these up and down this rail. We've got plug-ins. We've got 3 of them, one towards the front, one in the middle, one at the back. So that 30 amp breaker package I was showing you, we have power here in the stall area. We can plug those fans in. Maybe you want to put up a stand in here and you need to clip something. You've got the power right here. So you've got, again, a lot of flexibility with the trailer by having that package in there, having the fan rail in here, 60/40 setup to flow throughout it. You know, we can jump into the tack room. One other thing is we did put another set of switches in here. If you notice, we have more LED lights in the stall area as well. but we did some switches if you were coming on and off that side of the trailer for the stall area, and then that light I showed you between the front tack room and then that ramp, those are individual switches right there. So you have them on the back post, but also up here if you don't want to go all the way around. So again, 10 pin. Again, this flows really, really well, you know, by having obviously the gates with vertical bars. You know, you don't have to worry about things climbing. So normally we do a 37.5-inch tall gate. I know some of our hog customers prefer a lower. Look, if we're gonna build you a trailer, we can go ahead and do it at 31 inches. So it cuts 6 inches off, so it's a little bit easier if you're leaning over, moving feeders. Obviously with lambs, goats, maybe they wanna try to climb these a little bit more, or at least attempt it. So for inventory purposes, we like the 37.5 just because of, you know, we wanted to appeal to everyone, but there is the option to go a little bit lower profile on these gates if you would like. You got two 16-inch awning lights back here. With it being 8 wide, we have the space, so give you some more light coverage back here. And one other thing that we like to do on these trailers now is do a backup light. We understand that you will be getting home in the dark. You'll be getting to shows, unfamiliar places in the dark. Our truck is a long ways away for the backup lights on it. So this is a feature that we're going in and adding a lot to our inventory. Even if it's on some of the smaller, you know, maybe it's a smaller bumper pole like a 6/8 pin, you know, little 20-foot, 18-foot runaround cattle trailer, big living quarters, we don't care. We like doing that backup light on there. Again, it's a really small feature, but it's nice to have it just done right there at the factory. So again, drop windows, really easy to operate. It does have a slider window in it, so if you just want to open up part of it, you can do that as well. And again, the fold-ups, really easy to operate. And then there's a good look at that polished aluminum extrusion on the side. You want to, if you can, if you're running salty roads, mag chloride, just the dirt roads in general, this will take a little bit more just maintenance to keep it looking like this. You want to get that stuff off of it as quickly as you can. You don't want it to sit on these polished trailers. Never acid wash this trailer because it'll burn that polish and you'll have to have it repolished. Added cost. What you want to do is you want to citrus wash this. Citrus is a brightener, it's not as harsh. But again, if you can get that stuff off these trailers, you know, that's a great, it'll continue to look like this over years. If you're having to deal with that a lot, or, you know, you live down real long dirt roads and you don't want to mess with that, I would recommend just looking at the mill finish. So more of just the standard, that you can actually go ahead and, you know, acid wash it there. And then there's that escape door going into that stall area, fold up step on it as well. So again, you can maneuver in and out of that stall area from each side of the trailer. I mean, you can come from the tack room, the side, driver's side, passenger side, and the rear, obviously. I like a white truck. I love the white trailer with the polish. I think it's a really sharp, just good look to it. But I know, you know, the charcoal metallic's really popular right now. It works really well with a lot of the truck options as far as colors go. But a really cool looking trailer. These Showstars with the polish, I mean, it's hard to beat them. They are sharp looking trailers. One of the last things you'll notice right on the nose is those 3 button lights up there. That is now a standard option on the 24 model, so it's a real easy way to tell. Over the years, we've gone in and added those on these type of trailers. I don't know, they look cool with all the lights on them. You can make them look like chicken haulers. So when they run down the road at night, they're all lit up. But that's now a standard feature on these. We've got some other Showstars here. We'll have other stuff on order. I know we have one sitting here with air ride suspension. This one here has, again, those rubber torsion axles. But if you want to jump into an air ride type of a setup, we have that as well. But I'm going to give you the stock number on this one. Again, it's a 2024 Cimarron Showstar LX. The stock number is 5N230375. We do take trade-ins. So if you're looking to upgrade, even downsize, maybe you got a horse trailer, you need to trade in. Kids aren't, you know, doing anything on the horse side anymore and they're wanting to show a little bit more, we can take those trades as well. Financing's available, and delivery is an option as well. We could possibly bring this to your doorstep. So give us a call. Anybody on our sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. We appreciate you tuning in, and have a good day.